Hey Aries, this is your reading for the month of June 2021. So the way I like to do this is I start with visions that I had during my meditation time beforehand, and then tarot cards, and then oracle cards as guided. It is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest, and I'll go ahead and put in the description the decks I use in it as well. And yeah, I'm trying to remember if I'm forgetting anything. So yeah, and this is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Mars, or Venus. Generally, it's really it's more prominent if it's in your top three, your Sun, Moon, or Rising. If you have Aries there, then this reading should really resonate for you. Otherwise, also if you have multiple planets, like more than three or more in your chart that are in Aries, then that should resonate as well. I'll also go ahead and put a link in the description to a website that lets you check out, or basically get your chart for free. Just look it up for free and everything when you put in your info and everything. So and that's not related to me or anything, it's just something I use too. So yeah, so let's get started. The reading I had for, you're not reading, the vision I had for you was, honestly, it felt like you're I think in the middle of the ocean, like the middle of the water. And it felt, and you're swimming, and it felt like there's steps there that you're trying to get out, and literally physical steps, and you think you're coming to solid ground, but then there wasn't anything there, so you were still swimming. So it just felt like this almost this idea that you were kept imagining that you were gonna be getting out soon, but you weren't, or that you kind of almost felt faked out, that you were gonna get out soon but you didn't. Yeah, and so let's just go to the cards from there. So wait. Sometimes I'm I shuffled this, but then I put them back. Okay, there we go. So, Spirit, God, Universe, what message do you have for Aries for the month of June? Especially in regards to the vision so far. What does Aries need to hear? And I don't do reversals, so here's Ace of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. So I see this coming up in your power, but it's interesting. It's almost okay, so I see this in regards to the vision I had. It's I know these are on a table and it's reflecting underneath, but I imagine it as like it's in water, and this is like underneath is what's in under the water, and this is on the surface. It's like everything is kind of coming out of the out of the water. So I feel this whole thing that like you might be coming out from like, hold on. Okay, there's different groups of you. Some of you may be coming out of an emotional situation or an emotional kind of being under a cloud almost, like in the water. Healing, growth, all that, or not growth, healing and stuff like that. And so you're coming and you're trying to claim your power. You're trying to claim, you know, what's yours. And this is your element too, Ace of the Wands. So it's like claiming what's for you, what's meant for you. However, I do get the sense that you're trying to shine like the candles, and that can be a good thing, but I also get this vibe that like, again, it's kind of like one of the past readings I did for you guys. Like, it's almost like fake it till you make it. Like, you're trying to be like something out there that like, you're like, okay, me too. And you feel like in order, like grabbing this power, grabbing your, not strength, but grabbing that is like being in your element is like the same as that. And it has elements of that, but I feel like you're more than just that. Like, there's more to you. There's more to the picture. So I feel like for some of you guys, you're grasping at trying to be like something or emulate something that you actually have more than. Like, you actually are not better than, but in your highest self are going to go beyond, like fire beyond. But it is coming out of water. So it's like all these came out of water and it's growing, and it like brings this light and this light through the water. It's almost like light through like the pain that you've been through, the pain that they've been through, the pain, all that. And it's like, so you're like, okay. And then see all this like right there. So it's almost like, looks like you feel like in order, when you hold this, then it'll light up. So some of you guys, that's the thing where it's like, you're like, okay, now there should be a light coming up like any minute now, any minute now. Something about this too, like, I mean, normally this is Ace of Wands is, and I'll go through the meanings. I forgot to go through the meanings. I don't even know if I did for the last one either. Did I? I don't remember. But Ace of Wands is like, it can be a new creative pursuit, passion, but also it can be, especially for you guys, Aries, like especially like holding your power, you know, holding what's yours, taking hold of something, you know, it's coming into yourself. Five of Pentacles can be like a beggar card almost. It's like you kind of weren't willing to receive help or receive new things that were coming your way because you were holding on to the familiar. Some of you, I mean, that's a lot of times that's where the energy comes from. So then now you're like, you're at a point to where you have less than what you would have had you not held on to your idea of what things were supposed to be, if that makes sense. It's like with the Four of Pentacles, like it says holding on this like stagnant energy because it blocks off any kind of abundance coming your way because it's almost like you don't believe that you can have better than what's in your hands at the moment. So you hold on to that. So then come the Five of Pentacles, it's like, okay, well, that's a state where like you've kind of missed out because now you have less than you would have had. And you're at a different state because you have like stuff that doesn't pertain to the current, what you need. So it's like, it's almost like a beggar card in that sense. But I do feel like there's a really bright, shiny element to this. Like, it's really bright. And I feel like for this reading specifically, it's interesting, like this reading specifically, it just feels like, again, trying to seek this bright place, trying to seek this area. And at this point, like coming almost like a beggar, like, okay, and it feels like some of you guys might be like here right now and you know that like this is kind of where it's coming to, but part of it is like you have to bring, again, your inner child. You have to bring your wounded parts. Like, this is a child, but the child's like looking down and looks really sad. Like, the child doesn't look like he's like unaware of what's going on. He looks like he's been affected. You know, the child's been affected of like the poverty or, you know, that mentality, or the lack or whatever. And this doesn't have to be like an actual poverty thing. Some of you might be, but I mean, yeah, we got like everything here kind of. So, I mean, not everything, but I mean, considering the water element and then the vision, like it kind of feels like it's everything. Because the swords is a mental and the pentacles is financial and material. So, but yeah, so it's like, I feel like you're seeking, and you have this beggar mentality, and you're seeking something as vibrant as that. And I think for some of you, it's like you're there, you're right at the door, but you're literally like looking at the wrong direction. Like you're looking away from it. You're like, okay, I'm ready for help. And you're not even looking at it. But there is an element of needing to bring the inner child and needing to bring your wounded parts and your shadow for some of you guys as well. And, you know, coming to terms with that and bringing that and being honest with that in yourself. Because otherwise, you know, you've come to this place of this stuck in yourself, because Eight of Swords is like a stuck mentality. It's like a mental imprisonment, not because she's actually imprisoned, like literally like, okay, well, this one, is she? No, wait. No, like she has her arms tied up, but I, wow, okay, hold on. Okay, so I feel like that's actually the energy in this right now. I'll say that in a minute, but she has her arms tied up, and yeah, some of you guys, okay, anyways, I'll keep going. She has her arms tied up, but it's not really like tied to her body. So literally, like, the only thing is the blindfold. Other than that, like, she's free to go. Like, she can go. So it's a mental imprisonment of the idea, the thought that, okay, I have my eyes closed now and I have this closed now. And some of you guys might feel that way because you felt that you haven't been able to speak, or you haven't been able to get what you wanted to say out. Some of you also, that could be a child wound. Like when you were a child, you might have, you know, not been able to say what you needed to say, and you may have not been able to, like, didn't feel heard. And so now as an adult, it's like you can be heard. You're not limited, but that mentality of not being heard, not being listened to, kind of like not being seen eye to eye, has brought you to a place where now in your mentality you feel like you're in an imprisonment when you're not, when all it is you have this sensation that you can't speak, not because you can't speak anymore, but because at one point you couldn't speak. You know, it's almost like the elephant, like, analogy thing or whatever it is, where it's like if you put, like, what is it? I think like shackles or whatever, or like, you know, whatever it is on an elephant, and like they're tied up or whatever. I don't remember how it all works, but then you take it off and then like they still act like they're tied up, or they still act like they have the shackles on. It's like that. It's like you had that element, that mentality when you were a child, you know, and like, yeah, you had that. And some of you guys are repeating a pattern. Some of you guys are still like, are doing what you, okay, some of you guys are dealing with an inner child. I mean, either way, I think you're dealing with an inner child, but some of you are actually like remembering, or like going back into a state of being, a state of mind where it was like, you feel like your parents did everything they could. They were like in a begging mentality. They were in a lack mentality because they thought blessings and whatever could only come in their picture and whatever. So they were like at a beggar state, and then like a needy state. But again, they didn't look to what was actually willing to help them. They didn't look. So they looked away too. So some of you guys are like repeating what you saw happen in your childhood that your parents might have done, and that's all you've known. And it's kept you at this place of, I don't have a voice, I can't speak up. And it's almost like, I don't have a voice, I can't speak up, and I can't turn around to the help that's in front of me. Because this one is the help that's in front of her. This one is, if she was able to like see and like not be in her head, because this is in your head, she was able to see, she could just look back and see that none of this is real, and then she'd be free to go. Just like she could look back and see that that's where help is. Especially it's like all dark colors here, drab, everything, and then this is like really bright, and I just feel like that's where like this is the provisions. This is, you know, the pentacles right there. It's provisions. It's the financial and like, you know, material. I mean, and some of you, yeah, that's what it could be, like poverty in your childhood situation, and you kind of kept that mentality, not because you actually have that right now, like that lifestyle per se, but that speechless and not being able to speak and not being able to be heard, not being seen eye to eye, not being seen, like, look at, I keep feeling like we can't see him eye to eye, like we can't get a read on him or understand who he is. And then her eyes are closed. So it's like you still have not just closing your eyes so you can't see, but literally so other people can't see you. So it's almost like not a defense mechanism, but almost like you might keep it that way thinking that it's a defense mechanism, that it's good to keep that way, some of you. And then the Wheel of Fortune, like everything's going to happen in its time. I mean, I feel like for this, like, I mean, Wheel of Fortune is like a cycle ending, but it's time for this cycle to end, for you to see this for what it is. It's funny because there's like, I know this isn't like a wheel right here, but I do from here, like I see almost a wheel. So I see it almost like parallel with that. And it's the idea that like, this is supposed to end. Like you're not supposed to stay in this mentality. This isn't how you get out of this. And this isn't how you're your best self here. Not because you have, I mean, you are trying to look like those, but I feel like for a lot of you, like you're even brighter than that. You're even better than that. And it's just, that's just all you can see right now that you can be like. I don't know why I see that. Like maybe there's an element of comparison between you and other people or you and other things. So that's why like I get this feeling like, no, you're better. You're better. Like, because my natural mind would be like, no, the fire and all that is the natural, and this is all the natural. So like this is good to not pursue, to aspire to, but like I'm saying like, no, you're better. You're better. So I feel like some of you are like dealing with that. Like I'm better than that. I'm better. And that's kind of what's kept you not better, but not shining, because you've been so stuck on comparing, because you've been so quieted, not be quiet, but yeah, like shut down, so that you feel like you have to prove yourself to get out of this prison. But really that just keeps you in the prison anyways, because your whole value can't be about how to prove yourself. Oh wow. And your whole value can't be about other people. But yeah, I feel like this is saying like this is all going to come to an end. It's just you have to do the work. Like you have to see things for what they are. You have to see this. You have to turn around. Like there's so much there for you, and there's so much there that you're seeing as a threat that's not really there, or at least not in the way you think, that like you're actually in a good place once you end that cycle of that mentality. Once you turn around with the inner child and you heal that child. And that way you can act in a way that is different than the way you were shown in your upbringing. It's just, the thing is like, that's why like the back and forth feeling, like you feel like you have the power, but the reason why you're not there is like you're in the water, just like the vision. You're in the water and you feel like you're at land. You feel like you're on solid ground. You feel like you're at a place that you can like, everything is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, it's underwater, so I can't see, things are murky, and you keep thinking you're like at a solid place that you can be like, okay, now I got control. But that's what's keeping you, is the fact that you feel the need to escape that water, to escape that emotional delving, to escape the diving in. And so when you feel the need to escape and look and do that, you also look away from the help. You look away from the growth to get out of it. And because that's the thing, you're not meant to stay in that water. That water is there, but once you decide that you're okay whether you're in the water or not, that's when you'll be able to get out of the water. But as you're telling yourself, the only way you're safe is if you're dealing with the tangible and you're dealing with the, financial, all this stuff, everything. Not saying financial like that, but in general. So that's why you're kept in the water. because you need to make peace with the water. You need to make peace with that emotional, intuitive place where you have to delve inward, do inner work, all that stuff. And then everything will be revealed. And then this will be seen. Then the blindfolds will be off. The blindfold's only there because you feel you need it, because you're afraid to look into the water, because you're trying to get out so bad. And you are to get out, but not with the mentality that that's the only good place is out. Like, basically, you have to make peace with your childhood. You have to make peace with that version of yourself. And you have to basically, yeah, come to that place in yourself. Oh, why am I pulling more here? I hope that's resonating so far for you guys. Spirit Guide Universe, you have for Aries for the month of June. Message, especially in regards to the vision so far and the reading so far. What message do you have for Aries? Yeah, this is heavy right now. I can feel it. It's funny how, like, we'll see. Just with this. Oh, I didn't even cut it. Oh, I can cut it too if you guys want. Let's see what this is first. I mean, that's embracing the spiritual, the supernatural. That's embracing that. But it's also your essence. It's like all the fiery, like, it's funny. Okay, I'm going to cut it real quick just because I had a feeling to cut it after I hadn't cut it. So we'll see both. Did I keep the top one? I don't know if I did. Funny, like the feathers again, it's like embracing that, like embracing the spiritual, embracing the delving in, like delving into the pure essence. It's funny, like how all that, you know, that also reminds me, like, I know it's not 4 swords there, but it reminds me of the 4 swords, which is like a card about, you know, taking a break, and like not taking a break like an actual break, like you're still in battle, in the middle of battle, but it's like recharging, you know. So the break is literally so you can go back out stronger. So it's like, in that sense, it's like doing that, and then like to go back out stronger, like go within, do the hermit mode, go within, not just hermit, like away from people, but literally delving in, like hangman, delve in, delve into yourself, you know, get acquainted with your inner child, like fully, instead of feeling like you need to have blinders on because the inner child doesn't want to look at you, because like the inner child knows that when he's looked at or she's looked at, like there's rejection there immediately, you know. It's like, get acquainted, and not just acquainted, but like embrace. And then like look at that, like the wings are coming there, and this is like just metal wings here, or not wings, but you know, the helmet. And then this is like feathers. It just feels like it's just like encompassing and growing, and like growing into yourself. Like, yeah. So I hope that's like resonating for you guys. Let me know in the comments, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. If you guys want to share this video, that'd be amazing. That helps my channel grow so much. And so if you know people that would want to hear it, or just want to spread the word, you know, that's awesome. That'd help my channel grow so much. And then if you don't already subscribe, I suggest you do. That way you don't miss out on any content. But yeah, so let me know how it resonated, what did and what didn't, and I will see you next time.